G'day YouTubers. I thought I'd try something a bit different and talk about one of my other passions, sport. Well, it's come to the end of the AFL and the NRL season. Thankfully, as a Port Adelaide supporter, the AFL season's come to a conclusion with pretty much the last kick of the game and the last game of the year getting a draw between Port and Richmond. Oh, so gutted. I was going absolutely mental in front of the TV. Just, this whole thing's done me freaking head in with, just some of the decision making, you name it. I could have something that really about the fact we won. There has been improvement, but it's been in fits and starts. I mean, it is not as bad as it was the season before. That was just undescribably bad. So the final ones that did now onto, we finished 14th, which is a vast improvement. Not a vast improvement, but a improvement. Um, finals, first round of the finals are Hawks versus Collingwood, Crows versus uh, Swans, Dockers versus Cats, and Eagles versus Kangaroos. Well, it's kind of like throwing up a half and half. There's two games, the Swans and the Swans and Crows, and Hawks and Magpies, which will be absolute crackers to watch. Whereas I think personally, though you never know, that Cats and Dockers will be fairly one-sided. And the Cats do what all great teams do, and they do all great teams do, and come good when teams need to do, and they're on a roll. And I think really the Dockers will be just another notch in their belt. I think they can give them a run for their money, but I don't think they're going to beat the beat the Cats, especially well, kind of sort of home. It's about 100 k's up the road from their town where they're based in Geelong. Although they are rebuilding their stadium, so they'll be able to host home finals next year. Hope, hopefully for their sake, they do. Okay. The last game's Eagles versus Kangaroos. Last week was Friday night was aberration. They just, apart from winning grand finals, they just don't travel in Melbourne. Travel at the MCG that well. They rarely win. Rarely win at the MCG. So yeah, I think there could be an upset, but it's a long shot for for Freo and North Melbourne. But then again, if North Melbourne at least give the Eagles an almighty scare, it would not surprise me in the least. Um, Also, the NRL finals, which NRL finals, the one I didn't catch much of this round of NRL. Did manage to watch my team, the Storm, make it to the finals, and Storm make it in, just miss out by a whisker on the minor premiership to Canterbury Bankstown, which actually did something really rare. They actually, in the first three grades that they run teams in, which is NRL, Toyota Cup, and New South Wales Cup. They all swept the lot and came first in all three comps, which is a really excellent effort. I congratulate them. Yeah. What else? And this week the Melbourne Storm. I noticed this much. Are the playing playing South and Bulldogs are playing Manly. North Queensland playing Brisbane shocking after a rare win in Sydney versus um versus versus the Sharks, which they had a good season. I'm not quite sure where they finished. And Brisbane, not playing against Brisbane, and Canberra somehow managed to scrape at home, scrape into the finals after a really terrible start to the season. So, I think these, of course, I want Melbourne to win, and I think they will beat South in Melbourne. But the rest are a toss of the coin. You know, whoever turns up and wants it the most. I mean, Cronulla, Canberra, even as it comes, my opinion, on the back of their form that have managed to get them into the finals, they're as good as anyone. And sometimes you don't know what Cronulla team's going to turn up. So I think that will be. Oh, jeez. I'll actually put my neck out and say if it's in Canberra, I'm not sure. They seem to stuff around with the fixtures a lot in the NRL. It's in Canberra. Canberra will win. It's in SFS or wherever they want to play it. Cronulla will win because Canberra don't seem to have travelled terribly well. They've done it on the back of their home form, basically winning almost all their home games and quite convincingly in some cases. Bulldogs Manly, Jesus, that will be a damn good game to watch. Um, Bulldogs have been really good all season. Manly just bastards seem to always. Oh, that's one thing I should point out. There is no such thing as neutrality in this thing. This is what I think. Don't like it. You can comment down the bottom of the page and tell me I'm being a dickhead. That's fine. I'll live with that. Anyway, back to my Bulldogs versus Manly. Bulldogs, well, they've been pretty good all season. They've done a nice number on us on a couple of occasions. Nice one that sticks in my mind was when they went up to Mackay and Ben Barber basically finished us off with a 100 metre run to the try line. That stuck in my head. But yeah, I think Manly will will give the Bulldogs a really, really, really great run for their money. I think Bulldogs will just scrape it. Not by much. There'll be a try in it. Lucky. As for Storm versus Bunnies, well, I'll say this right now. I'm a Storm man. I think Bunnies will give us a really good run for our money. But I think Melbourne at home, will do the business. I think, although if Bunnies don't get eliminated on the back of that. I'm not sure the ins and outs of it. Now they've changed the final system. Um, they get a second chance. I think that they will be a tough test for if it works like AFL, that'll be a tough test for um, any team that comes up against them in Sydney. And North Queensland, Brisbane. If it's up in North Queensland, I think they will just do it. It'll be very close as most of those Queensland derbies are. Um, and Queensland derbies are, and I think they will just scrape it, scrape it by a try against the Broncos, which have been really terrible away from home, and they've only just made the finals on the back of their form at home at Suncorp Stadium, which is a bit of a crock because they seem to get a lot of home games, home Friday night matches at Suncorp, and if they got the same run as everyone else did, I don't think I'd be talking about them playing North Queensland. Um, but yeah, a lot of interesting stuff coming up. I'm a mad soccer fan. Uh, just finished watching the Eredivisie, which is the Dutch soccer football. Um, and that was a good game where Feyenoord lost. Anyway, uh, English Premier League's going on. I'm just passing time with this video until Manchester United play Southampton. I think Southampton will, if they play as good as they did against Manchester City, they will give my boys a really hard time. I think Man United will nick it by the odd goal, but it's not going to be a walkover. Southampton, though, I've followed them all the way through the what's the word, all the way through their promotion season, and they played really attractive football, passing game. Sometimes that's problem problem coming up to the EPL, but it hasn't seemed so far been a problem. But then again, it wasn't a problem for Norwich City last season either. Um, and yeah, there's um, Champions League starting in about a fortnight. That should be good. Man United up amongst it again, and Real Madrid and Barcelona. I think Barcelona on the back of the early season form will be amongst it, amongst the front runners, because Real Madrid haven't been at the races so far, and it's only too early to see how the Italian teams will go. I think I can only ever see the winner coming from Spain, Italy, or England. There might be an odd every now and again, but really all the money, all the players that will contest have the depth of squad to compete. Although one exception may be Paris Saint-Germain, but they seem to be getting all the players that other clubs want to offload because their salaries are too high. But you never know. Zlatan, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is a very good player, but he can't carry the whole team, obviously. Um, and a bit further along down the track will be the A-League season, which is always good with the new team, Western Sydney Wanderers, and all the controversy and all this other crap going on, and whether Del Piero is signing or not. It'd be just good to get on with the game. Oh, and I think in about the same time as the Champions League starts, excuse me, I just hurt myself. Uh, um, the Asian Champions League, I think semi-final, one of the two, one of those will be happening with LA United, my team, playing against Bunyakor from Uzbekistan. We've faced them before and beat them, but might be a bit different now. I don't follow the Uzbek league. I mean, who does? Anyway, there's a lot going on. You know, if you're really desperate, there's Formula One, motorbikes, the Wallabies stinking up the joint again. Yeah. The, oh, and of course the NFL season starting once more, and I'll of course talk about that. It should be really interesting. Okay, this is my first Reds sports corner, and I bid thee well, and go the Storm, and go Man United.